Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It's Antoinette here. So I finally, it's been busy start of the month, so I'm now doing the August, no I'm not, I'm doing the July review reflections of my journal and the decks that I used. Since starting in June with the Any Deck Anytime, I have to say I quite enjoyed it. Although I set some parameters this month, I also did add decks as I went along. Now, last month I forgot to mention the moon diary that I use and love. So for July, we had the herb of hyssop, and I will admit I never actually got around to using this, although it reminds me of the mint in the garden, which is currently sprouting little pink flowers very much like this. So from that point of view, I do use mint quite regularly. So I suppose my substitute herb, although I know mint was for May. But yeah, so from a similarity picture-wise, I went with mint. But for anyone else that did work with jessup throughout the month, and please let me know how you got on with it. It's good to hang above doorways for bouncing off unwanted energies entering your home. I have some spiky objects and things around the house for that, so I'm kind of okay. And of course, July was also half the month of the star sign Cancer. So this is where I keep my daily reflections, which are an expanded version of what goes into my daily journal. We have this beautiful waxing moon magical oil for making, and I had every intention to make this, and time just basically got away with me. I did a few other kind of house cleanses and house washes instead. We had the buck moon in July, and as you can see, I've just carried on with some days got more than others with regards to wording, like literally not a lot going here. We had this beautiful kind of inset about tricksters and trickster energy and working with like the fox and things. So this was really nice piece of information that comes in these diaries. And it made me laugh because we had the magician at the back of all of that, and there's a reference in here to Loki. So where are we? So if anyone's familiar with the current figure of Loki from, is it Marvel Films, Marvel Studios, with, you know, Thor, there's a particular actor that does that. So it just refers to stop thinking about Tom Hiddleston and go and have a cold shower. That made me kind of chuckle. And nothing really interesting in there. So we had some new moon and full moon intentions, and then we're into August. August is lemongrass. Again, not a herb I have lying around, but I do have some oils. So that's the FlickeringCauldron Moon Diary 2022. And just to say, I have the 2023 arrived last week, or the week before maybe. There's a walkthrough of this one on my channel if you're interested. It is available on pre-order. It has the time zones for other countries, so it tells you how to adjust the times to your country. And from their Etsy store, FlickeringCauldron on Etsy, you can have this posted around the world just by contacting them. So if your country isn't on there, Letty said give her a little message and she can let you know if they can get it to you and how much that will cost. So just by way of, I know some of you from other countries were a bit disappointed when you couldn't get this. And some of you have already messaged me to let me know that you're able to get it and you're over the moon. So this is next year's FlickeringCauldron, and it has dragons in it for all you dragon lovers. And there's I know there's a page in here about working with a dragon. I'm sure I saw something on dragon's blood as well. I mean, it wouldn't be complete without some dragon's blood energy. And it incorporates that page that I've been drawing into my other diary. So I'm going to be interested to see how I use this one next year. So that's a heads up for all of you, early heads up. Right, let's have a look through the diary. If we do this one first, and then we'll have a look at the cards, because as I said, there's a lot today. So new diary, so this is from that pack of 3 jotters that I bought at the start of the year. So I'm hoping that I'll get September in here. And then I'm not sure what I'll do for the last of the month, last of the year, but we shall see. I'm still drawing my grid in, so 3.5 centimetres by 3 centimetres per square. And I run Monday to Sunday across the top, and then I, put in my own numbers and things. And everything else in here is basically stickers. And then I have my card for the month and oracle for the month from my year ahead spread. So I just transfer that information into each monthly section here, which just gives me a nice kind of overview. And my overview was about being practical, grounded, trusting and learning patience. And then we also had things that I had to learn from the past and try to be present, be here, be now, not be, you know, back in living the past, over living the past, you know, rethinking, all those sorts of kind of bad habits that we get into, shall we say. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks listed, but I think I might have used more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I used 8 in total, so I pulled them all out just in case. And as you can see, my key is the same, so I have my full moon and new moon on here, and then my week aheads. The general layout hasn't changed. Sometimes I put boxes, sometimes I don't, sometimes I create space. But just for the moment, I thought the cards were sort of speaking for themselves, to be honest. And I have continued to take pictures of them. I will, if I remember at the end, get the little item that I use, but there's many on the market that you can use. I don't recommend or preference a particular one because I don't know enough about them. And I'm not overly sure the one I have is particularly fantastic because it uses apps. But anyway, so for my week ahead, here I'm asking, so it's always what will this week bring, or what's my working week got, you know, in store for me. So I had what to expect this week, how can I get the most positive experience out of this week, and what needs my attention this week. And then you can see my cards are here. And then there's kind of a clarifying card, which I used instead of an oracle because this deck's just gorgeous. So I used a card instead of an oracle to give me the overview of everything. And then with regards to what happened afterwards, I wanted to know what did I miss. And I used a different deck for that completely, and 2 cards out of there, and then just like a little bit of writing about what I thought. So like, forget about it this week, let your hair down and have some fun. You cannot control other people's timescale. So I thought that was quite nice. Yep, okay, so we had some shocking information there. So yeah, I think anyone that's reading that heading there will realise that I can't talk about that spread because there's a bit of swear wording and stuff in there. So a WTF spread with a warning, bankers about. And then I did a simple Sunday spread to kind of like try and, you know, clear my head and things. So this one was like, how can I create space for compassion, feeding off the back of whatever this one was talking about here. And that was obviously from Boho Tarot, so Dawn Michelle at Boho Tarot. Used a simple Sunday spread, just some nice stickers around. Thought we'd use a butterfly to take the energy away, and yeah, just easy. Here we have another week ahead spread, and you can see my pens have come back out. I've started to draw again. And this is what I said back along when I was saying it's curious. I clearly do this in patterns or fits and starts. So the very start of the year, then it wanes off, comes back in around this time of year. But it's not been as strong this year, so it must be because of the different energies in the month. And this one, what will work bring forward this week? So we have some new aspects of working, and then I had what do I need to avoid this week and what should I focus my attention on. Then as my wrap up, different deck, what was the lesson, what can I take forwards, and how should I move into next week? So yeah, they're kind of similar things, but it was just like, how do I take it forwards and how am I moving in as a person? Like, how am I internalizing or externalizing to move forwards? We have the full moon in Capricorn spread here, and again this is one from Ethany's, ethany.com. So one of her free downloadable spreads, and yeah, I'm not sure what deck I've used here. Looks, I haven't bothered to write it down, but it must be an RWS-esque, so I'm thinking it's probably the Triumphi Aquadoxical, looking at this, but you never know. Just because I've got a lot of turquoise in it, that's why I'm thinking that. Week ahead spread. So general overview of the week ahead, please. Then we've got where do I need to be cautious and what should I focus on to get the most positive outcomes this week. And depending on how I was feeling, 1, 2, 3 cards. No oracle overview for this one, but what went well this week. So there's my Triumphi. Took a picture of it because again it's another beautiful set of cards, and yeah, that was quite a simple one. 2 different decks again, and just different way of working. And that's kind of how it's been going, actually, by the looks of it. So there's not been a lot of in-between spreads. Okay, so the moon spreads are in here. A couple of blow-up spreads, and then my just week ahead with a weekly reflection all kind of merged into the one page. Because I just genuinely haven't got time to do the other stuff at the moment, because it's just been so crazy and busy here with all the works going on, work and everything else. So this week ahead, is this the last week of July, I think, so ending the 29th of July. So I had like a general theme card, which I've squashed in here because I forgot to leave space basically to stick it in. So my general theme I've popped in up here. I wanted to know, what does the week hold? What will be uncovered? And what should I do to avoid this if it, you know, if it's no good for me? And then with all this in mind, I pulled a oracle card. So completely different, very big, dark oracle card there. And a little bit of writing about it, which kind of went, actually, this deck went really nicely with this deck, I must admit. And then for my what went well, I pulled another deck again, and so I've got what went well, what didn't go so well, and what can I improve on for that week ahead. And then closing out the month with the new moon in Leo, and I used a couple of decks there for that spread. So I've got a picture of that one, and again, this one's from Ethany. So here's the spread here, should I want to take a picture of it and move it across into any other journal and diary, and how to lay out the cards, and then my kind of thoughts and reactions on it. And then here I've actually written what decks I use, because there were so many. And I think that is, yeah, and that is how I closed out the month of August in my journal. I might need to keep this to hand, actually, just to remind me of some of the card combinations. We'll start with the new moon in Leo to show what's happened. So what decks was I using? Okay, so I had the Magick Oracle from Priestess Moon. This is the round deck that I've talked about recently. So these are the backs. It's black and gold. It's from Rockpool. It's not, it's standard Rockpool cardstock, okay? Nothing else I need to say. And I've been using this deck as my intention. Now I also used a Triumph Illustrated for this. So the cards are the imagery that I love and adore. I quite enjoyed working with this colourway. It's got a really nice turquoise aqua tinge to the images. And I actually think I prefer the Aquadoxical to the normal paradoxical version. But don't tell anyone I said that. Don't tell the paradoxical I said that. Okay, and then I had this one. So Mildred Secret Pocket Oracle. Again, so this is a little clarifying oracle deck full of images. Nice and simple to read either intuitively alongside the book, or make up your own meanings for how they mean. Again, well, that would be intuitively. So we had that one. There's the backs. So this is the, I don't know what size you call this actually. We're calling it the deluxe edition. But I don't know, do you call that bridge size? I'm not really a card person. So TDL, SPO, OBE. Oh, we have this one as well. So the Oracle of Black Enchantment was in this deck. And these are the kind of, so these are line drawings, but they look like lino cuts. And that was one of the cards that I had in one of my final spreads for my week ahead. It's the Ancestors card. So I don't have the meanings to hand with me today, but you can see just from imagery how you feel you might like or not like them. And I think that's everything that I pulled for this. So let's have a little look at what we were doing. Sip of my coffee. So with this deck, I've been using it as intention. So what am I wanting to do? So the new moon in Leo. Okay, so a good time for purging, taking charge, ditching things, you know, and also setting intentions. So I was just looking at how I wanted to, the kind of thing I was maybe looking for. So if I was looking for perseverance, or if I was looking to fire up my energy for the month ahead. So if there's something I needed to persevere with to get to the end of, I could use that one. We have, or say if I wanted some self-confidence, I could use that one. So this would go in the middle of my spread. And then 5 card spread. So if I wanted more than one of these, I could do this, like perseverance with my self-confidence, say. And then for the sake of here, so I'm just checking, so 1 card, and we've got 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we'd have this situation going on with my reading. And a kind of energizing card for this as well, which just what goes with my perseverance, self-confidence reading and how to get there. I don't know why I'm shuffling, I could just pull out any card, right? So maybe this is my card of advice here. So learning to, quite entertaining really, the fact that we have fire, Leo energy, we're looking for perseverance, we're looking for self-confidence, because I think it takes a lot of confidence to be leaping over the fire. So however I may choose to do this. So is it confidence in being extroverted, outgoing, partying, joining in with the party, all those things there. And then what I'll do is I'll just see what Millie had to tell me to go with it. And yeah, I have weirdly nicknamed some decks and some I haven't. So this is because it's Mildred's Pocket Oracle. So I just call her Millie. And usually something will pop out, so we'll take this one. And the one on the bottom is tickling my hand, so I'm going to take that one. So we have the fish. We have the wish and the fish. So there's my kind of like final closing advice for all of that. And that's how I've been using the multiple decks whilst I was doing a moon spread. And I've been quite enjoying using the magical enchantment as my intention. So when I finished with my spread, I would leave these cards out for me to look at. And I would then lay all my next kind of spreads on top of it. Just by way of interest. So that is one spread that I was doing using these. Now, a deck I didn't use for too many complicated things. So I had the Tarot Nuages, and this is a gorgeous depiction of weird and wonderfuls for me. So the images are kind of like little goblin world, really intricate pictures on these, like really, really beautiful artwork in my eyes. So this one I was using more for kind of 3 card spread. So as I said, that might be sat on my table and that'll just be there just to, so I see it continuously. And then I might lay, you know, my week ahead spread down or my morning spread, depending on what I'm feeling. I might put 3 cards out. Normally I pull 1 card and sometimes I just like layer up on top of that. But my first card would be my main intention. In this case, it would have been the Lovers. But as a spread, for picture-wise, I think this kind of looks really good. And this one was a hashtag Simon and Becca made me do it deck. I knew I was going to want it as soon as I saw like the rough for it, so I purposely didn't watch any of their walkthroughs on this deck. And then it popped up on a live, and that kind of like, I mean, look at that sun, isn't that just brilliant? And then it kind of was like, okay, you've bent my hand, I have to do it. So this one is generally how I was reading alone. This is kind of my weekly 3 card spreads. Let's just check back here. Okay, so 2 which I thought were going really well together. Sorry, I've got such an itchy nose from wearing masks in work. It's this one. So if we move those out of the way. And it comes with its own pouch. So some of you might be recognising it already. It's not an English deck. It's this one. I just think the images are gorgeous, stunning, gorgeous. The artwork is, yeah, because it's the images, stunning and gorgeous. The colours are gentle. It's very sort of earthy feel to me. These are the backs, and the cardstock is really thick cardstock, and it's got sort of semi-velvety feel to it. So I find that they clump, but if I blow across the deck to put my energy into it before I use it, it shuffles like a dream. And these cards, look at these, they're rounded edges. Now, what you might be able to see if it picks up is I've actually drawn symbols onto them, so I know what I'm looking at. So I've put my own kind of symbols onto this deck, so I know what I'm looking at. Some of them are really obvious. Some of them, you know, just sometimes you look at them and like, is that a king or a queen? I'm not sure. Like, I think that's a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous hanged man. And look at that for a 3 of cups. 9 of cups. I mean, just beautiful. The world. Look at it. Here's our devil. How vain. Look, we have the mirror, the bowl of fruit. I mean, so yeah, beautiful deck, absolutely beautiful deck. So this one I was using, let's just do my like week ahead 3 card spread. Oh. So say my 3 card spread would be like this, and then it's not to the top now, is it? The one that I wanted. And let's just do that. And then I'd pull a oracle to go with, and I'd get something like this. It although this deck has plenty of other like darker images, it just seemed that every time I worked with this deck, I got more botanical cards out from here. So it felt usually that they were more earth-based, nature-based, which I just thought was a beautiful kind of thing to have when you're working with this deck. I don't know, I don't really have the words to explain it, but yeah, I didn't really get the ones that people would look at and be like, oh no, I don't like, you know, kind of more sinister looking cards in this deck, which there are many, considering how many of those there are in this deck, and the fact that I was able to get nature-based reading cards every time I worked with these decks. I just thought was a really fascinating concept. There it is, that one, and that one. Another one that used to come out with this deck. So it felt like this deck was coming from somewhere else message-wise. It felt like this was maybe an ancestor's kind of speaking to me, and then especially when I was getting these sorts of cards, it just grounded me with that sort of ancestral feeling, energy. So yeah, so I really liked using this deck. I think it's gorgeous. If you're ever tempted with a deck just because you can't read the guidebook, I think this one, and that's one of the images I drew into my journal actually, I think that this one works beautifully, and you can easily read with this if you know you have your meanings for your cards in your own kind of journal notebook that you've been working on. I think that you can certainly pick up. And, you know, let's just look at this one. So the 5 of Wands. So if we're going to talk about kind of those challenges, conflicts, you know, things that are kind of maybe holding us back, unable to move forwards, well, there's one challenging yourself. So it's not just other people. It's sometimes the way you challenge yourself, and also the challenge that you put in front of you can be unrealistic. So it's going to be completely unrealistic to walk out on the end of that branch and expect it to hold your weight without it breaking or snapping or you coming into danger. So there's just those sorts of other, you know, ways of looking at these cards for me. And yeah, I just think it's gorgeous. Highly recommend it. Anyone that's wondering about this deck or have been on the fence, didn't know whether to get it or not, but it comes beautifully packaged, beautifully boxed. I just can't read the book. Any other card combos that we need to worry about? I don't think so. I think that's all the complicated ones. Oh, there you go. So that was the image from the card that I drew in. Yeah, so I think that was all the complicated kind of ways I was using the cards. But for a general, you know, bring it down a bit, this. So for generals, for reading wise, this one works beautifully with this one. We'll do it in twos, shall we? Just get you all in frame. Sorry, people. So because they're from the same artist, you can't really not you can't go wrong, I don't think. As you see, great images with the Emperor, the Temperance, and the Spider. One more. And this is the Pips illustration, so 8 of Cups. There we have some fire. Okay, so those ones, as I say, they're a big favourite combination for me. I just adore this deck. So Patrick Valence's Trionfi della Luna Aquadoxical. I think it might still be available actually on deviantmoon.com website. So that's those ones. Then we were using, so I had the Alleyman come in. And I've done a flip through of this one as well. And I have a bag for this one because the box has got the other stuff in that I haven't finished sorting through and making the other decks with. And this is the one with all the different backs. I adore this. I mean, look at that one. Look at that one. Oh, there's so many delicious colour combinations of backs in here. I just love watching it shuffle. Even though I know that's probably the Wheel of Fortune, it doesn't bother me. Yet the vice versa bothers me because it's directly what's on the card telling me what's there. But this one, I just, King of Wands. Already, oh yeah. So I know what the cards are in here. So yeah, I just could spend, the backs make me smile. The backs, 100%, thank you, Alleyman Tarot. This makes me so happy. Now, I didn't think I was going to get on with this deck a whole lot, to be honest. But the cards in it, some of them are beautiful, and some I was like, nah, not sure. So I did colour some in. So this was a black and white card, and I took some alcohol markers to it, and I've put some colour on the card. I don't know how long these are going to last, because I've noticed that the alcohol markers don't actually stick to this gloss finish very well. In my mind, I thought they would have done, being professional markers, but they don't. So they will probably scratch off over time, or I could probably easily remove that with a wet wipe, actually. And then I got the chance to recolour the card. So I'm choosing to use it as a positive rather than a negative. And there's another one. Another black and white card. So I've just put some colouring onto the background. And we shall see. I think this one is where I could see there's like that little weird scratch there. And that's when I was like, maybe it's not all gonna stay. And as I said, I've made this deck my own. I have put plenty of colour and time onto the cards now. Love that one. I think that's a brilliant High Priestess. And yeah, so I've coloured in a couple, so let's just find you a couple of others that you might be familiar with. I haven't done that one because it's already come with red on it, so it's got its own. And I haven't done this one yet. I don't know what to do with this one. I'm not sure yet, but I think he might be for the colour. Yeah, I mean, you know, cards are just gorgeous. There we go. So this is the Arcana League, and I definitely coloured her in. Temperance, I haven't come around to yet. I'm not sure what to put on her. And some of them I just kept really simple. So let me just find a simple version. If I haven't already passed it, I might have passed it. If I've passed it, I'm not going to go back and find it. King of Wands, so that one kind of coloured. And there is another black and white card with grapevines on it. If anyone's seen it, you've probably spotted it. I probably just haven't picked up on it. No, it's not there. Must be, I clearly passed it. Okay, so there's another one as well. Anyway, I think that you get the gist, don't you? You don't need me to keep going and banging on about that one. And then finally, so my Total Tarot subscription came with the John Bauer Tarot this month, or last month actually, I can't remember. Anyway, beautiful deck. The artwork is gorgeous. So if you wanted to see what came in the Total Tarot and the deck walkthrough, then you'll need to, I'll see if I can remember to put a link below. You can have a look at the cards there for the full deck. But look at these images. Aren't they just gorgeous? So the deck has been created from images drawn by somebody. The images were never drawn to depict tarot, but they've been very well put together to do so. And they kind of do it in a story manner. So this is a beautiful story to this deck. And even though it's got really big borders and things around it, I kind of really rather like it. Some of these images remind me of my childhood. So I thought therefore it was going to be an instant sort of, if I wanted to do in a childhood work deck. But actually no, I did use it for some week ahead spreads. I got some good readings with this. I haven't used it as much as I thought I was going to, because I had so many other things kind of going on and not as many spreads as I thought I was going to do. And there we have the backs. If we just show you what they look like in a spread there. So you can see instantly you've got that story. I was contemplating cutting off, so I hadn't decided which way around to do it, whether I was going to leave the numbers at the top and cut the bottoms off or vice versa. But I do have the symbols at the top and I have the suit on the bottom. So, you know, telling me if it's a king, queen, jack, knight at the top and the number of the card. And then with the major arcana, we have Roman numerals on the majors. So yeah, so I was wondering about doing that, and I was contemplating taking off the side borders, but actually I quite like them framed. The tops and bottoms, yeah, no, it's not really that big a deal. It's not a deal breaker, but I just think what a gorgeous deck. And how's that for a world card? High Priestess. So it feels to me, or in my mind, sometimes this could be the same person moving through. I mean, her hair colour changes, but we're kind of in the same sort of area, aren't we? So here it's that unknown, like questioning that, you know, the other side of the High Priestess. And here with the world, we've got the whole like greenery. We've got much clearer looking water. We don't have what look like maybe dead bones and roots coming up. So it's just like how the world changes around this person. But I think, yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Thoroughly enjoyed working with this one, and I shall continue with this one. In fact, it's my favourite out of all the Total Tarot decks so far. This is the one I was excited to get, and probably that's stayed out. So the rest have kind of come in, had a play, gone away into the cupboard. This one, look, it even made it into a pouch. That's how good this one is. To go with that, I also have the Fairy Tales book that goes with John Bauer. I have a couple of books actually from this, but this one has some of the images from the deck in it, and it just gives you like a bigger version of the image to look at. That's the only reason. And not all the images are in this book, so this isn't a book that companions the deck to answer the cards in the deck. This is simply fairy tales. So this is true Scandinavian folk tales and lore in here, and that's the reason why I have it. And there's a life story of John Bauer there. Yeah, so this is just a really pretty fairy tale book. And it's something that, you know, when my nieces come over, they can have a read through as well. And it connects us back to our, a family in the Baltics. So that's just something that was, see the changelings. So these are stories that we've already grown up with. So this isn't new to us. These are stories we've grown up with, just beautifully presented. I wasn't aware of just how beautifully done these can be. This book was available on, I want to say Amazon, I think. I got this from Amazon. And this is the Centenary edition. It's hardback and it's just gorgeous. So I have, so I have this one. So there's just lots of short fairy tales for reading with some illustrations to appreciate, and some of the cards are in here, so it gives me a better view of the cards, but this doesn't explain the deck. Just want to make that bit clear. Right, this is, oh, congratulations if you're still with me. Now, April, have you made it this far? April keeps asking me, what do I use in my journals to write with? So, sometimes when I do a card pull, I have different coloured inks on my page. Not the best, but sometimes I use different coloured inks when I'm writing up my cards as well. And these are the pens that I mostly use when I'm doing such things. Yeah, I think that one as well. So we've got different colours again. So what do I use? These. These are zebra fountain pens. They have a really nice nib. They're rounded. I don't know how fine you call these, maybe 0.5 possibly. I don't think it says. We have an ink level there which you can't quite see, so it doesn't show up. You need to put the sunshine through it. But there's an ink level there to follow the ink. These are disposable. These ones are not refillable, but I've had them for, I don't know if it's been a year or 2 years now that I've been using these, and they haven't run out. That's how much writing I don't do. So I have them in blue, green, purple, pink, black and red, and they came as a pack. So those are my disposable zebra fountain pen coloured inks that I use in my kind of everyday journaling. And then I have a couple of others. So I have, so this is my Posca pen. For anyone that wanted to know how I drew on this card here, how I drew these symbols on, because of this Posca pen. It's a shaky one. It's supposed to be a fine nib. I don't know if that's going to show at all, but yeah, so 0.7 millimeter bullet shaped Posca. So that's my Posca gold pen that I use for putting symbols onto my cards. Then I can't even remember the names of these now. So these are right. So around the barrel, it says Forest Series, Hong Dian, or is it Hong Dian Forest Series? Anyway, so these are Forest Series fountain pens, and they're metal, and they are gorgeous. So this is my black one. I think these are 0.5, so they are extra fine. They come with a refillable cartridge. Oh, so I'm nearly out of ink on that one, so I need to refill this one. This is the one that I write with the most, to be honest. This is the one that I usually have brown in. And they are beautifully weighted. I've got that lovely little insert on the top of the lid for the black one. But yeah, so they are weighted. I think I usually write without the lid on because, yeah, I'm a girl. And listen to this. Beautiful click, positive click. And then I have this one, which is the same. Does it say on here? Hong Dian, the Light of Hope. But it's the Forest series, okay? And they have different colours for this one. So look at this beautiful one. So she has a gold and silver nib, and rounded again, and same, very extra fine, supposed to write 0.5. And these are all refillable. They come with the refill insert, and I think they're between 16 and 20 pounds. Do you know, for that price, amazing. And there's another one on my wish list that I haven't purchased yet, but it is white or kind of nude and a gold tip with sort of an ivory white colour main body to it. And this one doesn't come with the bubble on top, but it just comes with the kind of maker's stamp on top there. And these are the inks that I use. So they are Waterman, and this one is Mysterious Blue. And the Mysterious Blue is this colour. So this is Mysterious Blue. And the brown that's in my black band is this colour. So, and for anyone that wants to pause the video there, that is prompts for a VR to Stories, Lore and More, I think, is the video channel. Amethyst Ascension did a VR to the person, so you can pop over and see her, and then you can have a look at that one. I don't know if I'm going to do it actually, because it got a bit complicated, but it's one that's in there for one day maybe. Right. I'm so sorry this took so long, but thank you for watching. I appreciate you for hanging in there, and we're out. Bye bye.